Hello, welcome back to the channel. So I thought I'd make a video on a plane that I've really been enjoying now on Enigma's Cold War, and that is the A-4 Skyhawk. I think it's a complete jack of all trades. It can do air to ground, air to air, and it's just surprised me of how its dogfighting ability, how well it can dogfight even a MiG-21 and come out on top, and also how satisfying the bombing computer is to use. I've adopted a new style while flying the A4, and this revolves around taking 2 to 3 bombs at the most, dropping them all at the same time on a single encampment and usually wiping that encampment out. Now this is beneficial because you get your air to ground situation all handled, and now you can go do air to air with it. I just think that works really well, especially when there's a lot of enemy jets in the area. You get it done quick, and then you can be straight in the dogfight and help the team that way. It's no secret that the A10 obviously has more air to ground power than the A4, but with that lighter setup that I said about, where you just take 2 to 3 bombs at the most, you get it done, it's nice and quick. With the A10, there's nothing really quick about that plane, is there? You're more of a fast helicopter, and if you get jumped by a MiG-21, you're at his mercy. If you shoot down a MiG-21 in your A10, then fair enough. But it's like he made a mistake, you know. With the A4, you can really survive that encounter, and many times you can come out on top. And being alive, getting your air to ground situation done nice and quickly, then going to join the dogfight against, you know, the swarms of red aircraft. You go on Enigmas at prime time, you see like fucking 100 fucking MiG-21s in like a 5 kilometre radius. It's just how it is. And the A4 is just going to be a lot better in that situation than the A10 ever will. Which is why I think the A4 is the superior plane to help Blue's campaign effort. Here's an example where I used two 2,000-pound bombs dropped at the same time. And if you manage to single out a camp that has no armour, i.e. like T-55s, and they're all IFVs, you know, light vehicles with a building, you're going to wipe out the whole camp with those 2 bombs like 9 times out of 10 if your drop's accurate. And then you see that, bang, and that's literally the whole camp dead. Now, while I've been saying a lot of good stuff about the A4, it does have its drawbacks. Obviously, it's slow. Enemy fighters can choose to run away at will from you, pretty much, if they haven't stuck the fight and kept their energy up. Also, if you get jumped by a couple of planes at the same time, you don't really have the luxury of running away. You are in that dogfight now. And, you know, especially on a map like Syria with ECW, where everybody gets good missiles, you can get overwhelmed fairly quickly. Another disadvantage is your visibility out of the cockpit. Well, it's shit. There's no other word for it. It's just crap. So about that A4 dogfighting capability that I've been raving on about. Here we just merged with a Mirage F1. There was also an F5 in the mix, but he doesn't really do a whole lot. And you're just going to be able to see Mirages are quite easy for the A4. You beat them in sustained turn. You beat them in instantaneous turn. They can always run away, and that's kind of like the Achilles heel of the A4. You're really good at dogfighting, but most of these fast jets can just hit the afterburner and they just disappear from you. But if they decide to stick the fight, is where it could be potentially fatal for them. Like the A4, it's just so nimble. It has surprising amounts of energy retention, which I'll also come back to that. So you're in the rolling scissors with the F1. F1 trying its best, but he just doesn't have the pull compared to me. I'm able to get behind him and get a shot off there. Doesn't really do a whole lot, but we get another shot here. And bang, there goes his wing. And then there's that F5, he's like, raw. But yeah, that Mirage does end up going down. So this one, we've got a Mirage F1 that's already on R6. We did encounter each other about 30 seconds beforehand, but I've decided to run away from their lines because I believe I got shot at by a shilker, and that deeply frightened me. So we're coming up to merge now. Now I actually merge quite fast, and he does quite a good job of slowing down here. As you see, he's going to get the first turn off on me. And I was like, oh crap. There he goes for guns there, but he misses. Managed to jink out of the way of that one. And he's going to get the next turn off here because he's still behind me. And this is where I really back off the throttle, put the air brake on this turn. And now we've just neutralised right there. And now I'm on him. Now this is where I'm going to come back to what I said about the energy retention of the A4. I'm able to keep with him in the vertical. Like, I'm not, you know, not on his tail for guns or anything, but I'm able to get the nose up and get the sidewinder off right here. Now he does flare it, unfortunately, but you'll see again in just a sec. He's had the afterburner on the entire time, and I'm just able to stay with him. He's going to go vertical here again, but this was his last and final mistake. You know, I can still keep up with him. And he tries to like add an additional turn in the vertical, which I don't think helps him out here. But now I've got him right in my sights. He can't get away. We absolutely pump his fuselage for the 20mm, and I'll be very surprised if he still has an engine left. So this time around, I like to call this a harder example. Fighting a MiG-15 bis. Now, this is one of the few aircraft where I don't recommend you go head first. I think you should think about this. You should also make sure that you're at good dogfighting fuel against a MiG-15. And you're also somewhat, I would say, at the mercy of his mistakes. But you can really surprise them of how well you can keep your energy in the A4. Like, the energy retention of this thing's not bad at all. You look at planes like the Viggen and the MiG-21, especially the Viggen, you do one turn, all your speed's gone if you don't manipulate the aircraft well. But the A4, you get a lot of pull and you keep a lot of energy. And we're in the scissors now, the MiG-15. Now, rolling scissors with MiG-15 is quite scary, because although he doesn't have a lot of AOA, he just has a lot of just turning power. And he also has better energy retention than us, being even lighter and having, not delta wings. They're not far off being straight on the MiG-15. As you see, I'm still keeping with him fairly well. I think he is a little bit faster than me still. But I think it's this turn in the vertical where I'm able to follow him. And I think what his thought process was, he thought that I wouldn't be able to follow him in this, but I can. Again, not to the point where I'm on his tail with guns, but close enough to get the winder off. And of course, it being a MiG-15, he doesn't even have flares. And that's an AIM 9P3. You were going to eat shit, and he did. So, that was a different style of video. Let me know if you want to see any more videos like this when I'm just waffling on about a plane and where I think it sits in the power balance. I'm actually hoping this video will be irrelevant soon, as the F4 Phantom by Heatblur should be around the corner, or at least I hope. Anyways, cheers for watching.